Well, hello everyone, and welcome yourselves on in to an absolutely fantastic and seriously deep post-apocalyptic city builder called New Cycle. There's been some major updates. It's been out for a year, and just recently, a couple of days ago, they did announce this huge update that completely changes the game. So I've switched to the preview branch on some of your suggestions, and we're going to get stuck straight in. So we're going to go sandbox mode. And I've had a little look at what we want to do, but as you can see, there are multiple maps now, and I kind of fancy the coastline, but at the same time, I don't know, I'm thinking mineral deposits on the northern forest, or maybe the meadow. Now, Green Cape is out of the question because that's quite a hard one, and I've got about 30 hours in on the previous one, but I don't know if I'm ready for that one yet, so I think we'll stick to the coastline. We'll keep it on normal, as is, and we'll call this one Lemonville, as always. Alright, straight away we are in then, and we are going to pause it up. The first step, baby, let's begin. So we're going to start, well, this is the meadow map. And the game is pretty good on updates now. It's way less dark, and the colours are so much nicer now. So it starts you near the coast here, and we need to pick a spot for our main hall. Now, I do know on this map, water sources are better up this way. However, wood sources are better over this way. Obviously, you have all the trees over here. But we mainly want to probably utilize this flat land. Now, stone is pretty rubbish on this map down this end. There's a little bit here that you can see, and there's a bit over there. So main hall, I'm probably going to go towards kind of this way. I think there's some of the iron ones as well. Let's get the main hall down here, though. And then straight away, we're going to start with our field camp. So that one's iron. And our stone is over there. Don't think we can grab that one either then. And there's stone over this way. So, early on, it's going to be a bit annoying to build the roads, so we might want to keep that in mind when we're doing this. Now, this one, there's not that much wood, but there would be able to get iron and stone at the same time. Iron isn't until we hit the second age, though, so we want to keep that in mind when we're choosing this spot. So this one right here is going to be one of the best that we can do. Now, I'm going to bring it all the way over in that we're going to get as much wood as we can without destroying the trees, but also taking up that stone. So about there is good. I'm going to just get that one in for now. Then we're going to get the gathering camp, which is going to be for food. We've got a nice one right here. Probably just going to get the gathering camps covering one mushroom node at a time, although there's two here. Probably that there, look, later on would be really good. You could have two collecting from these exact spots. You don't have meat until you do some research, though, so keep that in mind. And I want to go for something that is slightly closer to our main hall here. So, just to reiterate, I'm going quite quick, by the way. I'm not going to run through everything, but this game is insane on production and, like, overall how much you need to do. So let me click this one right at the top right. And look at this. These are all the productions you will end up with later on. And there's the whole world map, gathering resources, production chains, automation. It's crazy. There's loads going on, so keep that in mind as well. Now, the next thing we're going to do is going to be a well for water. Now, as I said, look, we've got some water over this way, but the main bulk of the water is all this end, really. Now, it's worth noting, when we get to it, we can harvest from the sea as well. And these three here, so I'm probably going to do it in a way that only grabs one or two at a time. So this will make a lot of sense later on. I'll probably go for two here, actually. Grab one there, and I'm going to hit play and let them start building just really slowly while you can do this, and we'll start the first message of hello here, which asks me if I want to do the tutorial. We are going to continue without because it locks quite a bit behind the tutorial, which can be a little bit annoying when you want to get it. But as soon as we get onto production of lumber, we can then, I'll show you the research tree. So up next, we're going to grab the lumber as well, and I'm going to put these just close to our starting settlement here, and you'll see once these are built, hopefully I can start getting people in. Okay, so we have our well up and running, and that's going to start producing us water, which we'll need plenty of. And when you connect it to the road network, the efficiency is better, but you don't need to worry straight away. The road does in fact cost both stone and lumber, so you can't build them to start anyway. And there's the lumber mill as well. All of it building in, though. As long as you've got enough workforce ready, they'll go out and do it all anyway. And it's quite a cool game, so we can enjoy it as they're coming in. They do wander around. Each person has, like, details about them as well. You can follow them. They all have needs, all of that sort of stuff. It's very, very detailed, man. There's a lot going on in it. But there we go. We're going to select lumber on this production. And we're going to start getting some people in. Each one has a production and consumption. I'm just going to show you the statistics of input output for food and population and all that is across here. So all really good. And then you've got production. So if I click logs, you could do table. This one's a really good one to click. And you can kind of see per day, per season, per year on your total consumption and production, which is always nice. You can also right click on the resources and it will take you in to material list where you can change which material is set up here. I'm not going to mess too much with that though. And then down on the bottom right, you'll see the seasons and the same up here. The knowledge is your research points here. You've got your day and time, and then you've got your workers, which there's a whole depth to getting them healthy and all that sort of stuff. You've got 3 different types. You get craftsman, specialist. And each one you can change the distribution of how much you give them of each resource as well, which will affect morale, which then affects efficiency in the workplaces as well. So there is so much to take in and lots to do. As each of these come in then, I'm going to be smashing in 3 workers in each because the first winter will... Well, you basically want to build up a huge surplus all the time of food. There's no spoilage as far as I'm aware. And sometimes you get hit with pretty harsh things. So you do want to be getting that as soon as you can. And I'm going to sacrifice a bit of my lumber to get in a bit of my logs to get in some of that lumber. And we're going to straight away get both stone and logs for these field camps. And a little trick, by the way, when you've built one, because we're quite spread out, you can normally click on the left and it will cycle through. So we've only got that one at the moment. We're going to look for another field camp now. And I am very... Oh, wow, there's loads of dead trees here. This is actually a really good spot. I didn't quite see those. So we're concerned about this stone and wood. So we're going to get one in there as well. And then slowly but surely, we'll have all of our goodies coming in. And a little road button down here. You'll see you got a wide dusty road or a dusty road. I'm going to use the wide one. It is 2, so I probably want to use that later on. For this one, we'll just get a thin one through there. And then when you connect, they'll have better efficiency. You see this efficiency marker here? And then the rest of it will be going with the wide road. So this is 2 squares, which costs the same. But you'll want it for later on when you get up 2 roads and stuff. So I will start building those out. But it is pretty costly. So let's kind of zoom forward and just see. So every change you make kind of bases on a day cycle. They're very quick as well, the days. So you don't need to worry too much. All right, so we're going to be working up then at 24 lumber to start the research of basic construction. There's also living standards, so we're going to need... This is going to be basic construction first to get the simple meal and the soup kitchen and the stockpile. And that's where we can start really getting loads of this stuff up and running, really. Now, what I'm going to do, because you'll see, if I hover over the water, we only just have enough water. We want to be building a pretty big surplus of this. So I'm going to go ahead and get another well in. We just need to make sure we've got the logs. So I'm just going to turn this down. You see that efficiency is now at 30. I'm going to actually turn that down by a worker so we can produce logs. And our other camp will be done momentarily. There it is. Let's get that in for both of them. So we're going to get a surplus of these. So we'll have a nice amount of logs coming in once that one's in as well. Now, it's worth noting that these guys aren't fussed by the roads. However, the wells are. So one of the main ones we'll want to do is getting in the well for this one. And we have enough space to plan. So I'm just going to hit the wide road on this bit as well. And then you should see the efficiency go up on this bad boy once connected. There we go. So it's gone up from 72 to 96 per day by connecting the road. Hopefully the basics of that make sense. And now we can get the basic construction research on the go, which is going to take 24 hours, so 1 whole day. And just in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get yet another field camp. And this one is going to be pure logs. So I'm going to actually double up. Where shall I go? I kind of just want to make use of all this wood here, get rid of it. You'll notice pretty quickly that being close and just chopping down the trees is pretty ideal. So it uses a few logs, but that's all it takes for a field camp, so you may as well get them out. These little bad boys here. And whilst we wait, I'm going to continue getting with the lumber that we have. Some wide roads going up this way as well. Going to slowly but surely build out so we have a little bit of a space to build our main little section. from it, if that makes sense. And then I'll do another wide road this way. Because we're going to need to pick where we put our first lot of housing, and I'm thinking kind of here. So we'll have a bit of a block of housing this way. And the research is done, so that's stockpile, soup kitchen, and simple meal. I'm going to straight away try and save for this lumber, though. And we're going to get in our soup kitchen, which is 35 lumber, actually. Lumber mill also needs logs. Let's go ahead and smash in 3 more, getting us some logs from there as well. And down here, you'll see we're in the summer. So we've got to be careful because winter's going to approach. And this is why we need to make sure we've got simple meals stocking up. Okay, it looks like we've got an immigration that has appeared. So we've got 35 at the moment, plus 9. No problem at all. Welcome yourself in. That's 44. And we've got 19 spare. That's the difference between the numbers there. So we'll get these guys to work when we can as well. As always, though, guys, do let me know if you're enjoying this one as well. It does help me decide if I keep series going, and that's one of the main things that we need to know from you. And also, subscribe if you aren't already as well. Honestly, if you love city builders, you're in the right place. We try and make things look nice whilst also being somewhat efficient. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go pretty crazy with the logs to try and get something going pretty quickly here. So I'm going to get another one. We're going to get the people in for that. And I'm also going to go ahead and get another lumber mill at some point. But we're not going to be able to do that until a few days have passed. I don't know whether to do the research first. I think so. We're going to start the research of living standards because we're going to need those houses up to get into the next thingy. If you click in the top left where your city is, it shows you the next cycle and what you need to do to achieve it. So we need 4 wells, 2 soup kitchens, and the knowledge. So we're actually almost there. And actually, I just realized we are only running with that 1 well. So we probably want to get some more. I'm actually going to utilize this little section here for 1. And I want to keep this wide road going, but we've got to be careful we don't use all the lumber. All right, next research is done as well. So that's shack, household depot, and firewood. I'm not going to touch any of that yet. I'm actually going to get in yet another well. Also, we don't need to get the roads to them straight away. We will be producing water from them as well. And you'll see each one has a limited amount of resource. It's quite hard to see them at the moment. But these, yeah, there you go, 9,131. So you do need to, this is why stockpiling is important in this game. But now we can get our first soup kitchen or 2 in. And I think I'm going to keep some of the industry kind of going this way. So let's leave a bit of a gap. Let's get the 2 soup kitchens. This also requires water, by the way. And our food has gone down, so they're going to be complaining in a moment about that one. That's okay. And then we're going to need another well just to keep up with the water requirements here. There we go. And let's get 3 more in that field camp. So I think we've got all of the basic production we need to get things moving. Food will be in momentarily as well. So I'll be all good once this is in. And we're going to go with mushrooms plus water. And we're going to get 29 per day cooking up. I don't know how many we need actually to stabilize. So we'll have the 2 cookhouses doing that for us though. And then we'll start to rinse through both of these. Let's see how many we need. Miscalculation by me, but we'll have more than enough to get these going. And there they are, our 2 little cookhouses. Each have recipes, by the way. At the moment, we can only do the 1, so that's fine. We'll just wait. We're also getting storage almost full, so we're going to make sure we've got some stockpiles. And honestly, I think I'm going to keep my... I need like a stockpile area. These do need to be connected to the road. I think for this one, we're going to have just this dusty road coming this way. A couple of stockpiles over here, I think. And stockpiles are global, so it doesn't matter where you build them. Unkept promises. What's the point of increasing food shares if some of us don't even get a bite? I will reassess, set a new ration distribution level and achieve it. Yep, that's fine. So what we're going to do, basically what that was asking for is set a ration distribution. So if we put it to extra, for example, it'll make them pretty happy. But we've got to stick to it. Their morale's pretty low, so let's go for extra. It consumes a lot of food, by the way. And it starts next day. So we need 62 food per day, and we are producing, ignore that number for now, 29 plus 29. So I'm actually going to build a 3rd soup kitchen. And the reason you want to do that is because morale is really important as well. So it really helps keep them happy. Let's also get in another lumber mill. And I'll get this one just next to this here. So, bit of industry. There we go. We get the proper number now. Everyone is fed. And we have a 3rd soup kitchen. I'm actually going to straight away get 4 more in there. We're just going to pump up some food ready for the winter. We don't want to run out. You'll see that mushrooms are running out. It's most likely that our camps have finished grabbing what they need from them as well. And the unkept promises, we managed to keep it, so that's really good. Get a nice little boost to their happiness. And then what I'm going to do is actually... don't know whether to keep it. I'm going to put the distribution back to regular, and we're going to start stockpiling. So we need half the amount. That should be absolutely fine. And we'll just cook out all these mushrooms. And then next we're going to go for the timber. And I'm going to get my last remaining workers in there. You'll see we still have 2,300 or so left in this one. I've just looked on the map. This looks like some old farming area down here in the bottom left. Look, each one has its like little zone. Okay, up next to keep them happy then we're going to need some kind of housing. So let's do the residential, and we're going to need a shack times 6 to start. This is kind of what we need enough. I think it's 5 for the population we have, but let's go for... we don't really want it off the main road here, but I can start the 2 from this one. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then around this one, we are going to put the dusty road. We're just going to need lumber, so we'll have to let these build first, and hopefully we'll get that in. Our second lumber camp is in, though, as well. And there's our 2 resources. You can turn up and down on these guys as well, and you'll probably want your water to go a bit higher. Your simple meals, all of that. But we are in winter, and we have some mushrooms spare, but not loads. So because of this, I'm going to go ahead and... I could have just paused it. I'm going to take the guys out of this one. We're going to utilize these elsewhere. Managed to get a few houses in, but we don't have the production of the fires stuff yet. So we're going to need Household Depot, and this has a range of effect. And if you can see this here, this would be probably where our first housing bit wants to go. If I do it here, that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? And then I'm just going to put like the road around this. It's actually on a hill. And then we can get firewood afterwards as well. So I will get in another lumber mill. And this one's going to be over here. I'm just keeping it nice and tight. We'll move it around afterwards. I'm actually tempted to get the workforce in that one and then turn off this one. Right, you'll see we're out of mushrooms now, but the winter we are well in there. The main thing is we do have enough simple meals, I think, to last. And worst case is you can turn it down in here, so you can change the distribution to low. You can basically starve them if you need to, just to get through the winter. Right, I'm going to speed through this winter period now. We're just waiting for more knowledge. The more workers you have, the more knowledge we will gain. Because in order to get to our next tier, we just need 1,100. So we're almost there. A couple more days and we'll be good. We're 33 days in at the moment. This one's going to be firewood. Now, with the firewood, I'm not actually sure how much I need per day. And I'm starting this quite early. So firewood is a new one since I last played. So there are multiple new production chains that we'll need to consider. I don't think it can do anything until it distributes from this anyway. And then in the meantime, we'll just get our dusty road around here. And there's our 6 houses. So they begin, eh? There is a photo mode this top bit as well. I think is it. Look at that. It's very snowy, man. I'm coming in and out of their houses. I can see snow inside your house. That can't be the best shack to live in. And as you can kind of imagine, you get better versions of the houses and stuff as you kind of level them up as well. But here's the overall of the settlement. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty damn cool. I think I've got a feeling we might need something else for this. We do. Iron. So we can't actually build that yet. Year 1 is over. Some of this year's highlights. Should we have a look? Okay. Well, pretty good. Replenished by 94%. We had 9 new people join. That's good news. So as we go into the spring, we should be able to start our gathering again. So if we just click here, yeah, replenished. So we've got a good amount. And I think we'll be more than enough. We had plenty of food. We had double than what we actually needed. And we've got a good surplus of actual resources to continue on with our builds, really. And that's actually quite convenient that we can get that road all the way up. And then off all of these little ones here, we're just going to build these little dusty roads just to get more out of the water. So each one, and it's a lot easier to see once you get the roads in as well. And then we'll go with wide one down this way. I'm going to go right there. And then a small one. I am going to try my best to keep it looking nice. So we're just going to connect them up. And yeah, we have a nice little main road going through there, which is really cool. All right then. So 1096, we're about to hit it. I'm going to wait for this day to finish. Boom. Here we go. We have reached the new Iron Age. And this is where things are going to go pretty crazy. So let me show you. This is everything we've now unlocked. Tavern, Cemetery, Fisher, Forge, Smith. Oh, there's loads. I can't even... Yeah, you'll see. So that unlocks the next set of research. And I believe the first one is going to be metalworking that we can do. So we're going to start this straight away. If you click each one, I think all of these require some kind of stone. Yeah, that requires metalworking techniques before you can do that one. That one we don't have enough points for. So this one is good. We're going to start metalworking techniques. And that's where tools and stuff are going to come in. And this is going to help with our happiness as well. Now, in terms of how we're going to lay this out, I haven't quite decided. I think I'll go straight down the middle like that. And then we can get service buildings in and around these as well. And as far as the resources go, we're going to also go ahead and look for another mushroom spot. So we're going to want another one. I think it's sensible. Let's go down here because we can get meat later on as well. And then we'll just go, I believe we're pretty much on the main road actually. If I bring that all the way down, which we do have enough resources to do so. This is why you want your early lumber so you don't have to worry about waiting for all of it. We should be able to get another one in there. We're going to speed it up, get another gathering camp going, and we'll put these 3 people getting the mushrooms for that one. And this will slowly go. We're producing as much as we're consuming. There's the development as well. We actually do need some people to come in, so we're not going to be able to do too much until either a birth occurs or we get someone in. So, all right, we've got a lot of water, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute extra water rations, and that will get the morale up. And as you can see, if you click into each one, we now require basic tools. And this will also increase morale. So that's kind of what we want to be working on to make sure we can make them happy, right? But I also am very wary that I want to keep my mushrooms up and my meals. So we're going to grab mushrooms as much as we can. And that should still see this ticking over now. And then whilst that's kind of slowly ticking, we're going to look at our production chains. And now we have the forge, the smith, and we're going to need to mine some iron. So if we remember back to where we were previously, we had a work camp, which I've actually just completely lost where they blinking are. Over here. Is it you? No, you're doing wood. I think you've finished your stone, have you? No, that's still going. I think the iron one is right here, actually, so we need to build another one. Yeah, that was it. So if I go here, look, we'll have the extra resources from this as well. So I'm just going to put it in there. So it's quite hard to find the early game buildings, these little ones. I find the color contrast is difficult to see them. Once the trees are gone, it's not so bad. And yeah, what we're going to do with this one is start collecting the iron. And then from that, we can get the iron ingots, the copper, and all that. We're going to want, obviously, specific areas to build from. So I'm going to get just a bit of a dusty road going this way. And what I'll do is get roads to my camp so I can actually see where the hell they are. Now that we can afford them. There we go. I'll be able to spot it via the road. Yep, so production chain, we're going to grab a forge in, which is going to go right here. And once we get the iron ingots, we'll get our smith in. And that also means we can get our distribution of firewood that we will be doing eventually as well. So we're getting a nice little surplus of these guys in. And I'm going to just show you. I think I'll swap one of these out, actually. So let's go ahead and early on, let's get rid of the paper. We'll be on to paper soon, but I'm going to swap this for firewood. So you see that? You just click it, and that'll show my firewood here. So we'll get a nice big surplus of that. All right, we've got a new one, though. Let's have a look. They want us to get the tools, so we'll do it. And that'll say basically produce 65 basic tools. These are just generic kind of things to help you, give you little prompts on what you need to be doing. And let's have a look at what's required for the next cycle, by the way. So down here, we need 2,800 knowledge, 5 windmills, 3 forges, and a small work horse, which will then take us on to the next one. All right, we have no workers to grab the iron, but we are going to switch now from our logs. So we're going to take maybe 2 out of you. And let's go 2 in you for iron. So we'll start producing a bit of that. Haven't got anyone in here yet, but the iron ore we're going to need to grab from a mine at some point as well. Well, not at a mine, but we'll grab it from here and then it'll be from the mine eventually. And there'll be little mines you need to excavate along the map. I don't know where they are on this one, but we'll find them eventually. All right, we got our first bit of iron in then, so I am going to slowly get some workforce in here. I need my production to match, so we're not too bad on consumption here. So we get 18 per day. This requires 3 iron and produces 8 per day. So 1.5 iron ingots, 4.5 hours, and our efficiency is low because the workforce isn't maxed out. I'm going to take 1 out of the cookhouse to make sure we can get the mushrooms then, and we're going to max this one out, so that'll get the efficiency up a little bit better. If we hover over it now, it should tell you 3 hours for 1.5 ingots. Lovely. It's worth noting they're putting the first iron ingots into our household depot, which is going to be then distributing firewood to these guys, I believe. I'm not even sure if they're needed yet, actually. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and get the smith in. I think I want a bit more room for this because we'll need a few of these later on. So let's go here and I will set up an actual wide road for this bit. So you'll kind of guess what I'm doing here. So it's going to be smelters and then makers here, hopefully. And then let's go into our next research. So we can, there's quite a few we can do, but the simple production plans is probably going to be the one because we need the small workhorse, right? So let's go ahead and start researching simple production plans. I'm partly tempted to grab another iron. So in order to keep tools up, we're going to need to make sure we're producing or consuming. So we need another iron ore spot. And I've freed up 2 workers, so we should be able to grab that from another field camp with iron. Just out over here, actually. What I'm going to do is use this one. I'll pop it in here. Our research just finished to the other one as well, so we'll get this road straight into this. And there we go. We got the iron coming in. So let's get our smith ready. Although it is being built, actually. We just got to wait. It's got the 9 iron in. That's going to be built in a moment. Take a look. Resources are good. I'm going to keep these going, but we only just have a surplus here. But we got more than enough meals to last us through this next one. And I love having this much water. We're going to need it. As I say, slow and steady, making sure we're prepped and good is the way to play this. And I'm going to waste some resources bringing the road to connect into this as well. We're going to need that for power eventually as well when we get onto the windmills and all that sort of stuff. I'm actually going to reduce the cooking down a little bit more. So we've got 3 in there because we're going to want to start making some tools. We won't need many to start with, but I do need the iron. So I'm going to get 2 in there and then 1 in the tool maker. That should give us enough production of iron ore. These become way more efficient when you get onto the world map and when you unlock mining as well. It helps massively. So just keep that in mind also. And there we go. So I'm going to also need to connect this, but this requires lumber plus iron to create tools. So we're going to get in the 1 worker in here. It's going to say 0 per day, actually. How many do we need? It's because I'm not connected, right? Let's grab this little road in here. Let's grab this wide road going up here. 3.6 per day. Our consumption shouldn't be too far from that. Upgrade the main hall. Chief, a community centre made up of just a few tents doesn't feel very secure. Make it happen. Okay, it's because we need to produce the basic tools. It costs iron ingots and we can get our main hall upgraded as well, which will look quite nice when it's done, to be fair. And a scout from another land. We've got 3 people that have just come in. That's perfect. Really needed that. So I should be able to try and get in more mushrooms. Honestly, we're struggling quite a bit with that one. Although we can, once we've got the iron, get onto meat. But in the meantime, we're going to need, I think, we can grab communal needs here. Let's get that one in as well. And as far as we go with this, we're going to get a gathering camp and start the collection of even more. Did I put it in? We've got 3 in there, haven't we? That's cool. There's enough to put them on these ones as well, to be fair. I kind of want to go separate. Over here works just fine. What I'm going to do is put it here, though. And you see that we have this little section now covered. And there we go. If we just look at our tools now, we do see 1 in. What we do need to have a look at is there will be this. We need 4 per day. We're only producing 3.6. So if we put down to medium, that is 3 per day, which is more than enough, right? We're making 3.6. So we've just got to be careful we're not spending too much of our iron, if that makes sense. We've got a good surplus to build here now as well. I'm hoping we'll be able to build a surplus of mushrooms once this one's built. It's all about just, well, hoarding. You need to hoard, man. And there we go. The tavern, the cemetery, and mead have been unlocked, but I'm just going to wait just a moment for this one as well. And obviously, I will say, if you do have tips for the game as well, if you've played a lot more than I have. I mean, I played a lot when it initially came out, but yeah, let me know. Let's go ahead and get more mushrooms coming in there. As the population increases, obviously, we will need more in the way of meals as well. But let's check in on the scout from another land. We are representatives of a small community. Our expeditions led us to your settlement, and we were delighted to see an advanced community here. We would like to barter. Yeah, it's a trader. Let's have a look. And then sturdy roofs. I think they want us to build 3 shacks. We will get it done. Yep, that we will. However, I do want to match what we're building here. So I'm going to go with... How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. And then I'm going to go around it. You kind of see what I'm doing? I thought it was a cool little idea. So if we do that, we can then build the housing from here. And then have service buildings should we need them. A little bit further along. So I'm going to build the 3 shacks here so we kind of know what we're working with. I don't know what the design is. I'm just winging it. But I'm going to get 3 right here. And then that'll match with those guys. Oh, look at that summer. Okay. Objective complete. Cool. Can upgrade the main hall. Not sure if I want to do that just yet. Although it automatically does it. That's perfect. And then, okay, build 3 new shacks. Main hall is being upgraded. But that does mean we're going to run out of power. And we haven't quite researched thingy yet. Ooh. Honey production. That's brand new as well. I don't recall any of these new production chains, man, which is crazy. Right, we're going to need the power grids then. Let's get that going. Because our thingies are out of power. Group of strangers. How many? 15? Holy crap. Yes, please. This is really good. I should be able to ramp up stuff now, like smelting and iron gathering and all that sort of stuff. Definitely want a surplus of tools eventually. But before that, let's have a proper look at what else we want to do. Small work hall. So this structure offers a working environment where we can process many different products, especially organic raw materials, allowing performing various tasks. So herbal tea, tanned leather, and consumes 95 electricity. So we probably don't want to put that in yet. We're only on minus 15 now the main hall's up because that produces a little bit of electricity, which is good. So it's just one house that's going to have a problem. Okay, we're going to try and improve their morale as well. Research is almost done, so I'm just going to wait for that one. We'll get that one in. And then we'll look at this. Color is much better. These guys are very demanding now. Go on. I'll see what we can do. Maintain regular health. I reckon I can distribute. Still distributing more water. Probably distribute some more food, which would give us something, but it gets quite expensive. We can. Let's go for extra rations of food, which will give us a little bit more. We should be able to get our morale up. We're going to try and bump up the tools that we need now. So I can probably turn that up if I can get this 7 per day. So I can get that one up as well, which will also give a boost. And then over here, we will get in 1 more grabbing iron. And we'll just make sure they've got everything they need. We can cut trees with that one, but they are taking from the other one. Let's get the stone ones back in. And you guys are happy. I might start collecting some herbs. Only with 1. We don't need them yet. There's the windmills, though. We definitely need those guys in. So each map has better areas where you can build the wind turbine. And you can see here we have a bit of a wind farm area over here, actually. So that's perfect. I'm going to build 2. Now, I've just realized that one's really annoying for our wide road. So I'm just going to continue. We'll move that another time. And we're connected. So we will have the power requirements we need there. Let's slow it down and let's look at our next research. We're almost done across the board here. We just need hunting, which needs 5 iron. Perfect. Completed that as well. So we get a nice buff because we got their health above 40. This is a big deal, by the way. If you hover over this health bar in the population management, it gives you a bit of a... We're on 62 health, so it means we basically don't have to worry about deaths and stuff, and they will come in waves. Think Frostpunk levels. This happens on here. All right, let's take a look at the food here. So we're consuming more than we're producing. So in that case, we're going to turn this one back up. I think we're still good there. And that's all of our food requirements that should be good. As I say, I did turn them up on that, so I might turn it back down because we're going to want to save those. And then tools, I should be able to get that back onto regular now because we're producing 9. So that kind of counters it, if that makes sense. So we should be absolutely fine. But guys, I'm going to pause it up. That's going to be where I end the first one out. A very good start. We're almost on to tier 3 here. And things are looking promising. No one's died. We've got people coming in. And we've developed really well. As always, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and let me know your thoughts and tips in the comments. As always, take it easy. I'll catch you in the next one.